Hey YouTube, Savandra here. Today we're going over Procreate Dreams 2, which is basically a rebranded version of Procreate Dreams 1.1 update that they've been promising for a long time, which promises a whole bunch of improvements to Procreate Dreams. They say that the update has gotten much bigger in scope, so they're basically just changing it to Procreate Dreams 2. It will come as a free update. So we're going to jump into everything, all the details that we have for Procreate Dreams 2. We're also going to look at some of the new features as we have actual footage and pictures. And then we're also going to see some of the comments and questions that they've addressed on Procreate Dreams forum. So to start off with our new features, we'll be getting a new flipbook mode where we can manage multiple tracks. We'll get fixed scale painting, so when we zoom in or zoom out, it won't mess up our drawing's pixelation. We'll get selections in draw and paint mode, including our lasso tool finally. We're going to get transforms in draw and paint mode. We'll also get adjustments, cut, copy, and paste. We'll be able to merge our layers. We'll be having brush sliders with size and opacity memory just like Procreate. And I think a lot of the updates are really to make Procreate Dreams have more parity with Procreate's current animation suite. Additionally, we'll be able to set our stabilization per brush. We'll be getting painting performance improvements. Our color drop will be improved. Better brush management, which will also be accessible in the Files app. We're going to be getting a refresh color panel. We'll also be getting a compose mode, which allows positioning of the content. Timeline editing improvements. We'll be able to drag and drop multiple tracks, content, and keyframes. A quick method to change the movie duration within the timeline. Advanced export studio. We're getting importing and exporting for GIFs. We're going to get video transparency when we import or export. We'll also be getting customizable keyboard support, which we've been asking for the longest, so we can customize our own keyboard shortcuts for every action. Additionally, it will have an improved color space for handling imported videos, luminance mask, undo and redo improvements, adjustable timeline height, which is a godsend because the timeline height was way too high in regular Procreate Dreams. And as a whole, we'll be getting a new interface and new modes. So we can jump straight into looking at some of these changes, and first up we can see at the bottom we now have a compose mode in addition to the perform, keyframes, and edit mode. The new flipbook also clearly, as we said, can handle multiple animation layers, so I hope that's also adjustable just like it is in other modes. In drawing and painting, we can also use transform and we can use lasso. We also have a top bar, and I like how the top bar is very reminiscent of like a computer application. But we can see at the top bar we have things like we can add filters straight from the top bar. We can select transform, and then we can go straight into our settings, and then we can also exit the mode. So I'm really hoping this UI will work out because it looks pretty cool. We also have color drop improvements that should now fix the problem where color drop leaves a bunch of color at the edges of your drawing, which was really annoying. There's basically no way to correctly color drop in Procreate Dreams right now. Additionally, I don't like where it's positioned, but I like that we now have a whole new movie settings tab where we don't have to open it and open a whole new window where we can't see our project. It just pops up and we can make all our edits right there. I think that's very good in terms of navigation. Of course, we have customizable keyboard shortcuts, and it's funny that I just said that we don't have to open a whole nother menu because we do have to for the keyboard shortcuts. It would be cool if we didn't have to, so we could test our new keyboard shortcuts with a pop-up open and just change them if we don't like what we made. So in addition to all this new info, they've also been very transparent with what they're making and what they're not making. So I can just show a few questions and answers that they've had on their forum. So in case you guys had the same questions, you can just know what's coming. So first off, they are open to a public beta, I believe, because Procreate is currently going under one. But Procreate Dreams, they say they have no estimate for a release date of a public beta. Next up, they don't currently have plans for external monitor support, but they're interested in the idea of having that in the program. Next up, something interesting they shared is they're going to be upgrading the speed at which your Apple Pencil responds to your screen. So that should be very nice and make it feel more natural. It seems like we'll also be able to record the process of our animations, but based off this answer, I'm not sure if it's coming in the next update. We have no update on rigging tools, but they did say that they're interested in incorporating the feature, which is actually a good change because I know in the past they did not want to add rigging to Procreate Dreams. We're still not getting a camera tool, which is honestly pretty crazy, but either way, I have a video on how you can create a functional camera in Procreate Dreams on my channel. Here's another sneak peek of the UI, which looks very Procreate-like. I feel like we should have a freely adjustable timeline, but we're only going to be having 3 adjustable timeline heights, at least for now. Something else that's a little disappointing as well is that it seems like we'll be able to copy and paste drawings, but not keyframes. So when we make adjustments to like our size of our drawing, we can't just copy and paste that on another drawing. Last but not least, we have the frequently asked questions on their website, which of course is when will it be released, and they don't have a date yet. As I covered, you can't sign up for the beta right now because there's no beta release date yet. Why has the release taken so long? I think that's what we're all asking, but basically they just gave us the same statements that they've been giving us. They are making a lot of changes. How much will it cost? It's going to be a free update for anyone who's already bought the app. And I think this one was actually an expectation of us instead of a question, but our Dreams files will work with Procreate Dreams too, our current Dream files. But yeah, guys, that's it for today's video. If you have any like feature requests that you would want, like anything you're hoping for from Procreate Dreams, drop it in the comments because I'd like to hear what you guys also want from the application. Or if you guys even want to use the application, like if you're willing to use it again, given how it came out. But that's all for today. Soon I'm going to be covering the Sonar Pen 2, which is an Apple Pencil alternative with pressure sensitivity. So watch out for that, guys. It's a pretty interesting thing. See you next time.